Most expensive scientific tools. Science has revolutionized the world to the extent that now everything which can't be defined in terms of scientific terms and conditions seem vague and useless. Most of the supernatural knowledge and religions seem to be irrelevant in the world of science. All this has been possible for science due to its up-to-date technology, innovation, logical understanding of things and falsibility. Sciences has poured billions of dollars on new immersing technologies and experiments which are majorly successful, but not all of them. Science is not afraid of making mistakes, and in today's video we will be speaking about the most impressive technologies and scientific tools of our times and the many failed experiments that made it possible. As you all know that we discuss new innovative ideas in our channel, so we welcome you all to the channel as it shows you are willing to use your most valuable time for the sake of learning new things and understanding new innovative ideas. But before we start our video, I would humbly request you to like, subscribe and share my video. Press the red button at the bottom of the video and also press the notification button so that you get the updates of every new and informative video we upload. So in video we will be focusing on one of the most expensive scientific tool, and discuss in some detail how they works. So before it gets too late, let's start the video. So the list of most expensive scientific tools goes as following. 1. The International Space Station. The International Space Station can occasionally be seen streaking through the night sky on clear evenings. One of the most expensive expenditures in science history, it is farther away than any jet and traveling faster than any of the stars behind it. Since its continuing habitation by scientists in 2000, the ISS's development has been underway since 1998. The ISS's development has cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $150 billion. What then occurs there? In the space station, astronauts do research on how to survive in orbit and on the most efficient ways to conduct future journeys to Mars and the Moon. 2. The quantum computer. In relation to space missions, modern mobile phones have greater processing power than the computers used on the Apollo 11 lunar trip. Even while it's incredible to consider how much computers have altered and affected space flight, it's even more incredible to consider the possibility that exists in the future as they continue to become faster and quicker. The first quantum computer is presently being developed by NASA and Google. As a result of this computer's CPU being 3,600 times quicker than current computers, significant scientific advancements will soon be feasible. Quantum computing will initially be most helpful in the areas of drug research, cybersecurity, business, finance, investing, healthcare, logistics, and planning, according to Brad Petras of Lockheed. One scientific experiment that will undoubtedly have an impact on future science experiments is the quantum computer. What price? The expected price for the first quantum computers is $15 million once they are finished. 3. Curiosity. You need go no farther than the renowned Curiosity to give some insight on how the evolution of computers has altered how scientists are able to examine space. As part of NASA's wider Mars exploration mission, the robotic probe Curiosity arrived on Mars in August 2012. The mission of this rover aims to examine the geology and temperature of the planet and determine if there has ever been an environment on the planet that might have supported life. In anticipation of a potential human trip to our neighboring planet, Mars, Curiosity is also examining the habitability of the planet. Curiosity's mission cost $2.5 billion, or $8 for every American, to complete. 4. Solyndra. Science has a big market for clean air solutions, especially in light of the rising concern and attention in popular culture about global warming. The $1.6 billion in research spent by Solyndra, a firm that deals with producing more efficient solar panels, has been particularly intriguing and pricey. What makes these panels unique? Solindra's product is rounded, unlike conventional solar panels, and is said to capture and use sunlight more effectively. The Department of Energy funded Solyndra in 2009, making it a very successful and exciting business at the time. Solyndra took out a loan from the government. However, it appears that more lately the experiment has not been successful. The product is just not worthwhile when compared to its rivals. 5. Drones, lasers and artificial intelligence. New technologies revolutionizing field science. If you're interested in the details, remote sensing was first used in the 1840s by brave observers who used cameras and balloons to capture images of the Earth below. In the subsequent 170 years, remote sensing, a phrase that was first used and defined by Evelyn Pruitt of the American Office of Naval Research in the 1950s, progressed so far beyond those initial aerial images as to leave Jules Verne spinning in his grave. Today's technologies for remote sensing, which is the art and science of identifying, monitoring, and measuring an item without coming into direct touch with it, range from small, unmanned aerial vehicles, drones, that can take pictures and make maps to high-resolution satellite imaging. 6. Bioacoustics, capturing the rainforest wall of sound. Close your eyes, choose a position in a natural area, and listen. You may hear frogs croaking, bugs chirping, or birds singing. The sounds of nature are called bioacoustics, and they provide scientists and environmentalists with useful information rather than merely serving as a pleasant backdrop. The full range of data, sometimes referred to as the soundscape, is currently being used as an approximate indicator of biodiversity by a young field of study called bioacoustics. Sensitive acoustic and ultrasonic recorders are placed by researchers throughout the forest. The acoustic recorders record noises between 1 and 24 kHz, which is generally within the range of human hearing, and these sounds include vocalizations from birds, certain bats, amphibians, mammals, and the majority of insects. We can collect information on bats and insects that vocalize at frequencies above the range of human hearing, thanks to the ultrasonic recorder's ability to pick up sound up to 96 kHz. These acoustics offer an approximate estimate of biodiversity, allowing researchers to assess the efficacy of conservation efforts. The Nature Conservancy is actively using bioacoustics to assess the success of land use plans for conservation in Papua New Guinea and Borneo's best forest management techniques for protecting species. 7. Juno spacecraft. Juno, a $1 billion project from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, was launched on August 5, 2011, and has been circling Jupiter since July 4, 2016. The spacecraft's goal is to investigate Jupiter and learn important details about its geology and atmosphere in order to understand how the planet evolved. In February 2019, Juno returned a stunningly crisp image of Jupiter's jet stream. 8. Spallation neutron source. Neutron scattering is a technique used at the Spallation neutron source, SNS, to investigate the molecular makeup and characteristics of metals, biological samples, polymers, and a variety of other long mysterious substances that may have implications for chemistry, physics, engineering, and biology. The U.S. Department of Energy spent around $1.4 billion over 7 years building the plant. On April 28, 2006, the first neutron was produced. 9. Relativistic Heavy Ion Collider. The collider enables investigation of the initial type of matter to exist in the cosmos just after the Big Bang in addition to investigating the spin structure of protons. The U.S. Department of Energy is in charge of running the Particle Collider, which has been in use since 2000 and requires annual maintenance expenditures of $160 million. 10. Yucca Mountain Nuclear Waste Repository. With the construction of the Yucca Mountain Nuclear Waste Repository, some members of Congress aim to provide the United States with a long-term location for the radioactive waste that is now kept at various nuclear sites across the nation. While the project was approved in 2002, waves of resistance from inside the federal government and Nevada state government have delayed the project. The proposed facility is to be built deep below Nevada's Yucca Mountain. Nuclear power stations continue to store waste in concrete casks in the meanwhile. The project, which the U.S. Department of Energy projected in 2008 might cost up to $96 billion to complete, could be revived by Congress.